timekeeper. You left it to illuminate our hearts.
I'm just trying to live up. I don't want to give up. I'm just trying to live up. I don't want to give up. I'm just trying to live up. I'm sitting contemplating whether I want to give up. I'm here concentrating on giving a fuck. They say to suck, seed I'd rather achieve. They want you to believe and take it slow, but I bring it to fruition. I make it grow, manifest destiny. That's all I know, but the test keeps testing me everywhere I go, and I'm trying to open sesame and break this fucking mold. Now this search for this recipe is eating on my soul, all my members and faculties. I'm trying to gain control. They say it's a process, we all gotta go through to get to higher self from low. But a soldier never knows the strength until he faces foe, and a mastermind never knows by being told. He traces DNA to the ages that were old. Beware of the spies and the lies that they sold. Align with your constitutional fall. Align with your constitutional fall. Align with your constitutional fall. A million voices in my head saying, Jay, how could I? Why would I? A million voices in my head saying, Jay, how could I? Why would I?
Future isn't just a
million voices in my head saying, Jay, how could I? And why would I? Starly a moon. Sitting meditating on the body of life. Here deliberating if I should stay in this fight. They say we don't read, put it in the book. They want us to concede. I never look, but I use my intuition. I'm never shook. They'll never get the best of me. That's all I know. Wanna get next to me.
Police Officer Lambie, again, can I ask you why you're following me around?
Everywhere I go, trying to open, dissect me. Help, you know I'm on my search for this remedy. Hear this common cold, all these senseless casualties who's there to console. They say it's a process, we all gotta go through to get to higher self from low. Weight on the shoulder, dense pain I couldn't show. It's hard to find and always know what is your role. He gave us our slave more than silver and gold. Be clear of the signs and the times that they told. Align mind, body, spirit, and soul. Align mind, body, spirit, and soul. Align mind, body, spirit, and soul. A million voices in my head saying, Jay, how could I? Why would I? A million voices in my head saying, Jay, how could I? Why would I?
future isn't just a
million voices in my head saying, Jay, how could I? And why would I?
Who are you, Jay?
He's back, the light giver! All hail Jay! All hail Jay! All hail Jay! All hail Jay! A merciful one!
Come back and reconcile your past in order to move tranquilly into your future. Give twice as much as ye receive on the most sacred of days. Hey, commandments!
The tablet! The tablet! The tablet! The tablet! The tablet!
We have lived by its word, and peace has reigned throughout our world. Pass it on to others, so that they too may be enlightened.
A million voices in my head saying, Jay, how could I? Why would I?
future isn't just a
So I was gonna get you in.
What?
What? I'm rocket!
Who says we ain't in the building? Who says we ain't into building? We the Moorish master masons, architects for your children, repping Friday 13th like Jason, without the killing. But we promote life, oh, it's all about the feeling. And we invoke light, yo, we them light beings. Though you might see him on the block getting his posture, might be talking to cops, giving them caution, occasionally wearing his vest when he's walking, see the turning heads, whispering gawking, but he's locked in and he's zoned out while we box in our own house.
Study the mystics, the adepts, the magi, wisdom of the ancients can all calcify us. Possible mission, free mental numbness, extract the substance with minds of dumbness. Use the source, don't care what some purport, as we know by being told man knows not. Many before the cross, souls God bought, placed in the devil's hands, ruling the seven lands. To dogma rituals, Negro spirituals, brainwash subliminal, keeps thinking to a minimal. They still criminal, in a world digital so pitiful. Mental survival so critical, it's visible. Can you see past life's blocks? Hashtag zombies with waves of cyber thoughts. No need for cell phones, they speak through soft arms. It's nothing for alarm, trips and forearms.
Wind, brass, and bass, such a beautiful serenade. Women feeding me grapes, I'm feeding the new serenade. Whether the sky is clear or gray, rain when you hear it fade, giving life to see, speaking through who not here today. Shows you the future in a glimpse. Can always look to these holes like hallucinatory depths. Sun walked the desert, been marvelous since I found God. Look back, used to see his prince. Forget being a prince, I'm a G. OD, grown man, no Jody, denying you don't know me. Don't make me tap into the old me. That's like a couple hundred years. Walk around town with a couple hundred peers and release the peace of fears. The sun gon' shine, so what tears? This young brother here just trying to get his third eye clear.
This deep, Moors don't sleep. Invest in your mind, body, and unleash. Real life rap, spitting over tracks. Conscious thinking and living and then attack. This deep, Moors don't sleep. Invest in your mind, body, and unleash. Real life rap, spitting over tracks. Conscious thinking and living and then attack.
So as the moon sets, the sun takes its place. It spoons on blocks, inspired spots, filled spaces. Peel back, rats, who got cases. Fire stain the corridors with flammable faces. Game changers, rule benders, and no pretenders. Style benders, channel my vibe through the vibrant optic lenses. Send a message to our veterans. Soldiers up and get it in. We on our birds, we on merge, subliminal beings. Third eye seeing, still I participate unwilling.
They wanna break me, shake, bake, grade me. Rolling with my main G, double OMG. SON is crazy. For a minute that you think you could take me for a fool, like a native to his land, being schooled by a foreign dude. You mistaken me, spiders on the roof, in the dark rooms. I've been saying you mistaken me. You better move or I'll mark it. Power pin is my tongue, your existence to target. Revealing all lies and deceit on the market. Genocide, carry out in pockets, I knock it down, bulldozer. David to Goliath, it's an exposure. Of some big heads ruling and it's getting closer to your downfall. Round up all your soldiers.
Little homie, I was seeking a fortune, tired of misfortune. I just wanted a portion, everything that I never had, though I needed my portion. Blowing like porcelain, haters battling porcelain. Getting broke, tired of being broke. How we acquire hope is the DJ skillets of dope, just to keep us afloat. Mind as deep as the boat, brain is the lethal weapon. We one need to below. When I speak up, I'm broke. Walk in the room with my aura feeling like heavy smoke. Feel like when they let me broke under my Louis Vuitton to send me coke. Cause dirty cops and kill the boy, yeah, the joke. The cost of living, higher property to private prison. These little girls are selling bodies just to pay tuition. These little niggas selling niggas just for bill condition. It's like this thing can never end up with the intermission. I wanna free the world, but I'm one man. A couple ones like me and me one plan. I wanna free the world, but I'm one man. A couple ones like me and one plan.
I'm fantasy, I'm living in
Reality.
Can't fantasy, I'm living in reality. I'm fantasy, I'm living in
Reality.
Can't fantasy, I'm living in reality. I'm fantasy, I'm living in reality.
My reality, my reality, my reality. My reality includes no illusion. Facts to a Negro's head gives a contusion. Looking from the marvelous light, I know confusion. Has you in a fantasy thinking war's a losing. Even though Princess Michael wears Moorish brooches, now I told you what the problem is. Niggas are roaches. Still thinking like the colonists and like incompetents. If he didn't diss the birthright, the black psychologist wouldn't be getting put through the ringer over a license. If you don't do anything else for your more, it's priceless. So don't get played buying Moorish papers and cards without first studying. Be a man, vanguard. Wake up, stop taking credit from your master's cards. Stay in debt. I bet the lower self you a bet. Higher self you abandon, left notwithstanding. You keep constricting and keep not expanding. Still caught up in debates with the back and forth who you know are still liars, not speaking the truth. Paper dirty Morse classes won't study with us. That's blood and shark waters, good luck. You warned, me scorned for strangling feelings, maiming emotions. Reality check, see demons. Salivating, tasting your aura, lust in your passions. Go in meditations, body does devilish actions. Get back to your body, people watching you funny. Wearing skinny jeans with rips grown crisscross dummy and civil little mortus. They sell you out claiming professor. Index you on a list for the oppressor. But you are an heir, true successor. Drew Ali's father, Muhammad's predecessor. Turban with the sun, this and out of feather. High treasonous from the gallows hang together. Silent cowards down to their roots, with no courage or strength to stand for the truth. Challenge corruption, volcanic eruption from youth. Awaken memory banks, reconnecting with Ruth. Not terrified of the birthright. Not terrified of the birthright. Not terrified of the birthright. Know thyself, thoughts, scare and hurt, fright.
Oh, fantasy, I'm living in reality. If fantasy, I'm living in reality. Oh, fantasy, I'm living in reality. If fantasy, I'm living in reality. Oh, fantasy, I'm living in reality. If fantasy, I'm living in reality. Oh, fantasy, I'm living in reality. If fantasy, I'm living in reality. Oh, fantasy, 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 if fantasy, I'm living in reality. Yeah. If fantasy, I'm living in reality. If fantasy, I'm living in reality.
We are live here at the Moorish Hip Sir, do you have anything to say about this matter?
Yeah. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
Yep. Sir, what do you have to say?
I just want to put it on the record. I'm not ready.
Yeah,
What he said.
Moorish life matters. More lives matter. It seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter. Shot in the back, running or choked out to death on the corners. Mistake the taser for his sidearm, says the coroner. To the yellow journalists that won awards for writing facts, for worldwide web press stories, always calling them black. Civil rights violated, here comes C1-7 and CIA and FBI agent, brethren felons with what Big Brother once heard. Most Moors are nerds and study more than if I'm on the road, no biting curbs. No threats of nooses or fighting for survival. Making Moors martyrs won't happen, calling us Captain Rival. Inquisitionists, governors, and secretaries of state got stateless on their tables like ribeye steak with no care, blood dripping. They eat blacks rare. Foreigners wearing 6-point badges, pretending they're heirs to the vastness of state Mugri Balaksa. Stainless blood flow past a horse's brow, I swear it's agua. Demons thirst quench, stealing pioneers and organs. Psychiatry, death industry, to start selling black orphans and half-closed coffins, cause legs are missing, killing stateless people, cancer won't even see remission. More lives matter, cause it seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter, cause it seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter, cause it seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter, cause it seems like black lives don't matter.
System, what system? Not gonna make myself no victim. Run down and kick them off, educate oneself and flip them. All of the titles of nationality strips them. Must grip reality in order to really grip them in this third dimensional illusion. Organized chaos, confusion, stealing your attention. Mental intrusion, universal laws, declaration of the ancients. I self-law and master from the rooftops to the basements. Hoop deep to the spaceship, ever since all creations. Celestial foundations, ocean floor to the ranges, to the mountain tip, to the cosmic infinite. Basically, we are way above the shit. In other words, get in tune with spirit. Take a breath and accept. Mental polarity, gender, rhythm, correspondence, vibration, cause and effect.
More lives matter, cause it seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter, cause it seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter, cause it seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter, cause it seems like black lives don't matter.
More lives matter cause I sing it no sound off. It gets defected when rejected, put your mask off. Get my perspective undirected to replay. All the moves left on replay till they want to cast off. Bury them, on to the next one. Enough of them are gunning down. Use them a cast cross. Can't believe I copied that. Can't believe I cash bars. Trayvon, Michael Brown died for us to find cars. The afterlife visited the class prom. Who they really want to see with the crown on high and the guards on free? I am free and you know business but your land or your country to seek your inalienable rights. The insatiable delight of knowing thyself and bringing all injustice to light. What the fight is your plight, make your sight for the bright. I'm the mic in the night, foresight for you to realize that, huh?
More lives matter, cause it seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter, cause it seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter, cause it seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter, cause it seems like black lives don't matter.
Oh man, I had so much fun with Morocco, like those territorial anomalies, those cities that belong to Spain, and the whole Sahrawi Polisario thing. So many crazy things going on. But anyway, the flag. The flag is a red banner with an interlaced green pentacle star in the middle. The red was adopted as it was the color that symbolized the royal Alawite dynasty, claiming to be descended from the Islamic prophet Muhammad. It is also the color that many sharifs, or leaders of Mecca, and imams of Yemen used, and some may even say it stands for valor, bravery, and strength. In the middle, of course, lies the interlaced green pentacle star, being green, a traditional color of Islam, with 5 points standing for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, as well as the 5 pillars of Islam. Now,
hold on a second. Hold on a second. Islam Moors, peace and love to all Moors who know that they're Moors and love the fact that they're Moors and they're not playing this BS with people about we're everything except Moors. Islam to all the Moors who know that they're Moors. Islam to all the newly awakened Moors who just starting to find out that they're Moors. Didn't know jack. No one told them anything. As soon as they found the Moors, big vortex open. Now you can't even stop Moors. You can't even escape finding out something having to do with Moors just because you know now. Mudra Ali told the Moors this is divine and national. Mudra Ali told the Moors this is divine and national. This is not just divine, it's also national. This is not just national, it's also divine. Mudra Ali told the Moors that you have a flag, Moors. It's a red flag, green 5-point star. What do the 5 points represent? Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So the 5 points represent on the star that he gave to the Moors. Nobody else came and brought us a flag. Nobody. Everybody made up some BS and called it a flag. The only individual to bring us back a true representation of our sovereignty as Moors in the Americas was Noble Drew Ali. By the way, give honors to Allah, give honors to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, give honors to all the Moors
that know what's up. There's a lot more. So I'm just gonna play this thing again because people think that we're saying that we're Moors and you know we're crazy. Okay, well, let's see who's gonna go debate this guy about what Moors say. Just listen to him again.
It was adopted as it was the color that symbolized the royal Alawite dynasty, claiming to be descended from the Islamic prophet Muhammad. It is also the color that many sharifs, or leaders of Mecca, and imams of Yemen used, and some may even say it stands for valor, bravery, and strength. In the middle, of course, lies the interlaced green pentacle star, being green, a traditional color of Islam, with 5 points standing for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, as well as the 5 pillars of Islam. Now, of course,
No, hold on a second.
Wait a minute.
Hold on a second. Because I never heard anybody say that other than Noble Drew Ali. Before Noble Drew Ali and after Noble Drew Ali, this is the only person I heard really say that out their mouth.
Yep.
Exactly what Noble Drew Ali said. You think the world doesn't know what this is about? Whoever this guy is, whoever he is, Geography Now guy, right? You just jump on the subscribers so they don't try to say, "Oh, you got it."
Right.
So it's just because we're gonna play this all for the whole 2 hours. We're gonna play this until people get it.
In the middle, of course, lies the interlaced green pentacle star, being green, a traditional color of Islam, with 5 points standing for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, as well as the 5 pillars of Islam. Now, of course, keep in mind, throughout history, they've had quite a few other flags, whether as a whole nation or in split units. For over 40 years, peace, freedom, and justice.
So if he's making reference to this flag, and then after this flag, start talking about all some other stuff or whatever. And Noble Drew Ali told the Moors that this flag been flying over 50,000 years. Flags been flying on this side. The flag that people say Kingdom of Morocco flag and all that stuff, that same flag was flying here on this side. And again, it's according to Noble Drew Ali. When we do your research and you find out about mounds and all that stuff, you already know it's dark-skinned people who did it. So it was Moors that did it. Well, they're mad. Are you mad? This is what it's about right now. Right? 2018. You find me somebody who told you that the green star on the Moroccan flag has 5 points that mean love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice in that order. So who knows? So who knows now? Okay, so if you're gonna say Noble Drew Ali plagiarized that from Islam, oh, we got you there because we're gonna show you something right now, just so that you can.
That's right.
Just so you can, you know, get the point, right? That everybody freaking knows what's up. A Sudanese missionary in the U.S., same Sati Majid, who tried to pull out this BS with Noble Drew Ali. Listen to this now. Open your effing ears. Page 145. Sometime in the late 1920s, Sati Majid came into contact with the first indigenous African-American Islamic organization to emerge in the United States, the Moorish Science Temple Association of Noble Drew Ali. Remember, this is the guy who certain guys are trying to say he was an Islamic whoever. He's Sudanese. This Muhammad Ali Sudanese. And you tell me that this person's not a sellout? Sometime in the late 1920s, this is what they know. Sudanic Africa, Volume 8, 1997, right? So it's been known. Page 137 to 191. Sometime in the late 1920s, Sati Majid, same joker. You can go get Moorish Paradigm, book number 13. If you can find it. Book number 13. Because that's what they did. They killed all the good stuff, so you're going to have to deal with BS now. So that's what you get. You should have been down since the foundation, and you would know about Moorish Paradigm and all that stuff. If you go and you look and you can't find anything, don't get mad. We'll talk with these dirty Moors who knew what was up.
Yep.
How they know what's up? Because it say right here, Sati Majid came into contact. These are telling on themselves. Sati Majid came into contact with the first indigenous African American. You know that's a fraud. And you know if they're talking about African and American or African and American or both of them together, they're talking about Moors. Shut the hell up. African is synonymous for Moor, and American is the Aboriginal indigenous people who were on the continent before the European came here, the colonization. And they were also Islamic. Forget all that Hebrew BS that people are telling you. And they were the Aboriginal indigenous. That's why Noble Drew Ali told these Moors, Moors, you are home. The European is miles away from his home. Moors, you are from Missouri. So I'm from Missouri, but I'm not Aboriginal and indigenous? The hell are you talking about? There's a lot more. You want to interject?
No, you was going in. But real quick, so the people in the Sudan, in their book, they even know that the prophet was because it says indigenous, so-called, indigenous African American. Like, as soon as they said they're indigenous, it's like you put that in there. You put that in there.
Put that in there because that's what it is. And it's the same thing like Jose Pimenta Bay was saying, that after the stuff comes over here, you start getting BS. Right, look what this is. This is a journal article. This is not no Amazon, go get a book or whatever. Then we say use internet to study or whatever like that. This is what you would go on there for. Pull these keys, slap these people, talking BS about they're indigenous, but they're not Moors. But these people know that Sati Majid, who all these same guys are going to say, yeah, he's the Islamic scholar guy. He got all the credentials from the king of the whoever and all that stuff there. Okay, fine. Well, he came into contact with the first indigenous African American Islamic stuff here, which was Moorish Science Temple Association. Now, where's the paperwork for that?
Right.
And how come nobody in Moorish Science Temple of America been talking about Moorish Science Temple Association of Noble Drew Ali?
I never heard of that.
I never heard of that. That's how you know these people are playing games with you. That's why they want to keep you in your little box, in your Circle 7 box, 101 box, and Moorish Literature box. Make you think that Moorish Science Temple of America is not of the world, like what Noble Drew Ali told these Moors back then. Remember, this is 1920s. This guy, this hater, this Islamic hater, who doesn't want to see the Asiatics rise in America after the so-called BS called slavery, and they came over on ships and all this stuff, when they were the first indigenous people.
Mm-hmm.
You came from Islam, more.
But if we, real quick, if we fast forward now to 2019, what they do now, they're not the, what's the guy's name who tried to backstab the prophet, the hater, what's his name again?
Oh, Sati Majid.
Sati, right.
Sati Majid.
The new Sati is the Moroccan news that tried to put out the sovereign citizen stuff.
Right. Yep.
That's the new Sati.
Yeah.
Still hating on what the prophet did done us back in the 20s.
Still hating.
100 years later, they still putting out, still trying to come at the prophet.
Like when the prophet only came to wake our people up. Came to us because we needed him the most.
Yeah. That sounds like somebody hating. You jealous the prophet came to us?
How you jealous that a prophet came to us? Everybody else has prophet. Nobody's jealous of their prophet. Everybody lets them do their stuff, build their temple, do their whatever. Soon as more start talking, oh my gosh, can't have that. And then if you have that, there's gonna be restrictions, and you have to be part and partial and all that stuff. And you can't say that you have sovereignty and stuff like that, even though that's in the same Quran that these people walk around with like they're holier than thou.
Wow.
If that says sovereignty in there and that was prepared by Noble Drew Ali, then what are you talking about? And again, for all the so-called whoever's that you see today, forget the dirty Moors in the temple. These are people who aren't. This is how big Noble Drew Ali was. People outside of the temple in Sudan were coming all the way here to try to talk some BS about his Quran is not the real Quran and stuff like that.
In the 20s. Why nobody say nothing about Farrakhan?
Say that again.
Why they don't say nothing about Farrakhan and the way he brings Islam? I don't never hear nothing about nobody saying nothing about him. None of them people from over there. They don't never say nothing about Elijah or nothing like that. They Noble Drew Ali? Oh, these people try to bring the prophet to court. They try to bring the prophet to court. Farrakhan doing million-man marches and everything. Nobody bringing him to court, suing him for defaming Islam, nothing like that. No, none of that's happening. Why is that?
Oh, but don't forget, he got banned from Facebook, so he's public enemy #1 or whatever.
Oh, banned from Facebook.
Yeah. Oh. And YouTube and Instagram and stuff.
Right. You know how many times they blocked the Grand Sheik?
People don't know.
You know how many times they blocked the Grand Sheik?
Stop this, yo. Stop it.
These people go crazy over nothingness. Social media is nothingness.
Nothingness.
Nothing.
Imaginary. Nothing. You know, that's worse than make-believe.
Right.
At least make-believe, it's your mind that's creating everything that you're experiencing.
Yep.
In your make-believe world. In theirs, they control the stuff. And then you apply that to real life, like that came from the real world. That come from real world, that's virtual. There's all those stuff, you know what I mean? Skynet and all of that stuff. There's all the stuff they've been telling us what's going down. Agent Smiths or whatever like that. You think whatever like that, turn around and lady in a red dress and all that stuff.
Yep.
Cause you're tripping. Right, that's what the study scene is like. Study scene is like going through the matrix, trying to find out who you are and whatever like that, and all the agent Smiths are trying to stop you from finding out that you're Moors.
Yep.
The duty of the agent Sati Majids that are around today, these same pulling the same stuff, you know, not even switch up, you know, they're doing the same stuff. They already know that this is the first indigenous African American Islamic association to emerge in the United States. They know this. Why are people fighting? Why are our people fighting?
That's the only ones fighting. I was telling my father that earlier. I said, man, you go on YouTube, you see tons of Europeans telling me the United States a corporation. The United States is not a country. You know, like licenses and fraud. And tons of Europeans. Tons. Only people you see talk about that, other than them, is Moors. You'll never see these so-called black leader guys go on there talking about the United States as a corporation. You know, licenses and the fraud. You'll never see them on there saying that. Never. Never. So if it wasn't, like if we, you know, if we were all still asleep, only people who would be talking about this is Europeans.
Oh, hold on. Since he said Europeans, one sec. Hold on. Islam. Just so you know, we're live right now. You're there, Brother Yusuf?
No.
All right. So we're gonna try to move fast. We're gonna try to move fast because we know how to. They've been playing around with the damn phone.
Oh man.
They've been playing around with the phone. But yeah, just just introduce yourself, and I just want you to talk about people who are against Noble Drew Ali, like Sati, Majid, and other Moors who are against what active Moors have been doing, are doing, you know, and what's it done for you as far as just embracing Moorish culture? Peace, More, you there? Oh yeah, they're playing already. Oh yeah, there they go.
I'm here, Brother Yusuf.
Yo, all day playing with the phone. It's still showing that he's on too. So we'll just leave it. Maybe he'll jump in. But yeah, so Noble Drew Ali had some interactions where he was given honors to Europeans. And he's telling more certain things with regard to Europeans. The Moors were living up and down the Mississippi River before the European man came here. This is what he's saying, Islam. Oh, you there, More?
Yeah, it's Brother Yusuf.
Oh, that's you, okay.
Okay.
The European will not be able to remove all the wealth from the land. After he goes back to Europe, mountain of gold will be revealed to the Moors. Yeah, he just dropped. if the European be just, they would have an Asiatic vice president, and if they have an Asiatic president, they would have a European vice president. And then that was during Barack Obama, and that's Noble Drew Ali prophecy manifested.
Like, you know how many Moors woke up during that time?
Yo. Like really woke up.
That might have been the most Moors woke up ever
Yeah.
during that time.
Yeah. The real wake up. And not just the mental.
That's when I got it. That's when all my consanguinity in here got it, was during that time.
Yeah. I'm going to stop the European from thinking and start you, Moors, to thinking for your own good.
That's that sovereign citizen crap.
Mm-hmm.
Europeans saying that crap. Try to not thinking. It helps us see clear.
Yeah. Especially when they're claiming some authority.
Right. And you can,
You put your flag out and stand on your birthright.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave the European here just long enough to teach you how to run government. And so there's a purpose for them, for all the, kill cracker guys, never killed a cracker.
Right.
The Europeans here for a purpose. Islam.
Yeah, I always looked at that too. Was when like right around when they started that free man on the land. Like that was when they were starting to show Moors how to run the government. Like when they started that crap. Like, cause people always say, eat the fish, spit the bones out, or whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, so a lot of people got information from watching them. Because,
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got what you're saying. Yeah, for real.
You know what I mean? Started teaching how to run government, teaching you how to be your family. You know what I mean? Because government is family, teaching you yourselves is y'all. We the government, the Moors.
Exactly.
Leaving them there long enough, because then we click and get it. Like, oh, wait a minute, I can't be that. You know what I mean? Like, what they saying is because I'm a Moor. Just like leaving them there long enough. Now we're clear. We're a sovereign nation. As Moors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, not free man on the land. Crap. That's
right, or a secured party creditor, or authenticated birth certificate holder in due course guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you're sovereign. No, because we're Moors. Why? Because sometime in the late 1920s, Sati Majid came into contact with the first indigenous African-American Islamic organization to emerge in the United States, the Moorish Science Temple Association of Noble Drew Ali.
That's why they jealous of the thing of nobility. He was the first. Everybody wants to be that nowadays. Everybody wants the fame and nobility. They want to be the guy. They want to be it.
Right.
The Sudanese told you the prophet was the first. The first. Moors here today. Look at what, when we were in that state, the envy and jealousy we would have towards materialistic things. You know what I mean? Look at, how these people who were walking around looking for Jesus, when they found out that this guy, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, he's the one.
He's really the
You know the jealousy and envy was enormous.
Mm-hmm.
We get jealous over Jordans. This the guy who's supposed to bring back our people, state of mind, culture, everything. Come on. People were just drooling at the jealousy. Everybody mad. People acting like they was looking for Jesus because they knew that this guy was right.
Yep.
Playing games.
And they didn't want to be right. Because they would have just got in line with what he was doing. If they really wanted to be right. Which is what Garvey did. I think the postcard isn't proof that they met. And just their two organizations alone. Just their two alone. This thing was over. They already showed you the pictures with and the video of Garvey parades. So, you know what I mean? Don't show me some Hebrew Israelites lined up around some sidewalk or whatever. You're telling me that you're doing something. Because all that is just show and tell with a dead status. That is not bothering this European one bit. You want to be sorority, you want to pretend that you're Masons and all this type of stuff. You can play around and all that stuff all you want. You want to be Negro, black, colored, African. You came over here, you don't know where you came from. You're deaf, dumb, and blind. Somebody stole your culture. But you can go to a library, read a book. What are you talking about? The hell stole your culture? Why don't you go get it back? It's just sitting there, all them libraries are there.
Some galaxy, moon, star, crazy stuff that I've heard.
You know what I mean?
Some different dimension. What? Only God has my nationality. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Fine.
All right.
That's what.
That's right. That's why they get their license right from their God too.
Oh yeah.
That's where they get it from.
Right from their God.
They pay their taxes right to their God. That's what they do. That's what they do.
Yeah. Feminine nobility is crazy though. Feminine nobility is crazy.
And then they harm you for going against their God. Look at you like you crazy.
Yeah, you're the nut. You're the nutcase.
It's worse than slavery. That's their God. That's their God. It's horrible. I'm sitting here. I do contracts for our people here, but a lot of them sleep and they're older. And what I've noticed, you know, I've never shared this with you, Grand Sheep, but what I've noticed is it was more peaceful. I had a more peaceful mind when I worked for the colonizer than when I was doing contracts with our own people. When I worked for the colonizer, I was injured. I sat down in the break room for 8 months and studied, and nobody said a word to me. The Europeans paid me 8 months straight. Working with our own, they asked me, doing contracts and stuff like that, they asked me for a license more than anything. More than anything, all the time. You got a license? You got a license? You got a license? And I'm looking at them like, why? Like, what's going on? Like, what do I got to do? Like, what do you want? Like, you just need to know if I have one. Like, why? You know, what is that about? What is that about? And like hearing, you know, like these people, they shun people who don't have people who don't have so-called birth certificates. You know, like from down south, when country folks come up here, they don't be having their birth certificate. And with the so-called birth certificate. And they shut them. Oh, this man only got no birth certificate. And I'm listening. I'm like, what did you just say? Like, how does that work? Like, how? Like, because that's their God.
Yeah.
Like that's not master. That's their God. That's God to them. That whole way it works, birth certificate, license, social security number, that's God to them. If you don't have that, because they don't even want to, the people regularly don't even want to deal with you. Not the corporate stuff, the people regularly don't even want to deal with you. They don't want to deal with you, nothing. You sneeze, don't even say blessings, none of that. You don't have license. You're not regular. Like, it's getting crazy. That's their God. That whole concept of what this colonizer has done here.
Yeah.
That's their God.
Yeah. It's not the European as far as the being, but the psychology.
You're right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The psychology.
Like, that energy, because that whole energy that brings. That's the esoteric side. That energy that brings, they love that. They love that energy. They love that whole energy. That's their God. Amazing watching it with our people. That's what I was saying, like I was saying earlier. There is no so-called black leaders out there making those videos talking about the United States as a corporation and like that. They don't talk like that. They would never say that. Never. You're not going to see some so-called CIA Moore guy in here going here talking, oh, no, it was all fraud. And, no, they're not saying that. That's European ex-CIA agent coming out saying it.
Yeah.
It's never, Al Sharpton still living benefits off of that. That's CIA agent. That's a Moore.
Yeah.
These Europeans find out the true CIA agent, they come out, oh, I'm out of here. I'm out of all this fraud. Nope, I didn't sign up for this. This is... Your so-called black leader guys, they signing up for that. They signing up for it and doing whatever it takes to keep it. From the pastors to the so-called lawyers, all of the politicians, the radio stations, all of that, all of them, all of them, because the information is out.
Yeah.
It's out. It's out. Everybody knows. Grant Sheik, he just put a video up with another European. Another European. Like, this is crazy. I wasn't supposed to happen like that. You just put another video up. Another European. And, this is some European, the one that, the
castaway, yeah.
Right. They shun them. They shun them. They look at them. That's the ones in King Alfred. They shun those. The so-called poor whites. They shun them. He know we Moors. So he knew we were Moors. The shun so-called poor white King Alfred. He know. Trailer stuff. Those guys. He knows. And you mean to tell me these so-called black leader, politician, PhDs don't know? You crazy. You crazy. I fix their homes. These people have private Shriner rooms. Turns out, I fix their homes. And Moors, I just told you, I do contracts with them. I go right in their house. Turbaned up, fed up, sometimes wrapped around just to do the quota. Go right in there, look up, give the quote, whatever, whole room. I'm in a Shriner's room laughing because your ceiling's leaking. You wonder why your ceiling's leaking and coming down. so-called in your Shriners room. You think that's a coincidence, man? Because you selling out. That's why now the more got to come in here and fix it. You think any of this is a coincidence? I be in here laughing the whole time. Like these people like really sell out. Like and I'm like, yo, these people really sell out. Really sell out. Like you got that's the feds right there. These people keep it in glass. They keep their feds in glass.
Feds in a glass.
They feds be in glass.
Yeah.
And it's all of it. All of Islam, Madrid, Alhambra. Right on their faces. Or Egyptian stuff too. I've seen a couple of them with Egyptian stuff on their faces too.
Right,
the European come on here.
And check the play too. That of course they're gonna give the Moor certain contracts.
Right.
Because they don't want any and everybody knowing what's up. Why let the Moor do it?
Right.
It's not going to be shocking to the Moor. You know what I mean? It's common to us that these people are Masons. You know what I mean?
Oh, your little ritual stuff in the corner doesn't faze me.
Right.
Like that's regular to me.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
If that happens.
Yep.
That happens. The little candle, whatever stuff in the corner, that's regular to me. You know, I have that. So, you know, it's regular to me. You know what I mean? So, like, when I see it at somebody else's home, I don't think, oh, what they in here doing. You know, I know what y'all in here doing. I'm doing it. Like, I know what you in here doing. I do it. So it's not, you know, I'm not scared in here. You know, but you guys, it's the lies and the, you know, they go in public and make it seem like what we do is witchcraft and stuff like this. Just like you said, why do you think they let the Moor come in there and do it? Because those ceilings needed to have been fixed. Not when I got in there. It was already destroyed. They should have been fixed. Been fixed. I never picked up on that. Now, I'm glad you with me sitting there on that. I'm wondering, like, hey, why y'all pick me? Everybody knows I'm a Moor. You know what I mean? Like, because they, first thing, you a Muslim? No, I'm a Moor. Like, straight up.
I'm not Sati Majid.
Straight. And they tell themselves all the time, too. They tell them this stuff. I'm like, oh, no, I'm a Moor. They're like, oh, Noble Jawali? I'm looking at them like, oh, how you know that pronunciation? You should, that's supposed to be Gaga Google.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to know Noble Jawali. That's Gaga Google. How you know that name? That title? How you know that? You know Martin Luther King. You don't know Noble Jawali.
Right. But these Europeans, they don't know Noble Jawali though.
Oh, came up to me in the grocery store. Came right up to me in the grocery store and told me. I'm walking with my head down. I don't even want to be disturbed. Like, please, let me just grab my food and I'm out. Please. I got my head down. Just let me be out. My head is down. I'm talking about it's on the ground, Grand Sheik, where all of a sudden I just see tail legs and shorts and working boots. I'll never forget it. That's exactly what I saw. Like, and you're close. And I'm like, so now I gotta look up. Like, you know, like, wow. As soon as I look him in his face, it was like he was young, kind of chubby, had a clean face, little piercings, you know, the piercings they got. And first thing he said, Noble Jawali? That's the first thing he said. That's the first thing he said. He didn't say nothing else.
Oh my God.
Nothing else. European.
That one there gives me chills, yo. That one gives me chills. Because They're that bold with it too. They're that bold with it.
Right.
Like knowing that we know we're awake. You know what I mean? Like them actually seeing us as being ourselves.
Right.
Is it's
right.
uplifting, but it's uplifting, but it's also destructive. Because you have people who are gonna take things and use them messed up. You know what I mean? Somebody's gonna take that thing that's organic and GMO it. You know, and then people get caught up in the GMO opposed to the organic. You know? So Brian Slater, Captain. This is what Captain knows. Because, you know, they have their postgraduate school and all that stuff. They got to write thesis and all of that. So the master is talking about the sovereign citizen movement for his stuff. This is what they know. In addition to the patriot militia, sovereign past, a parallel but different ideology employs the very same tactics against the very same targets, the Moorish movement. The Moorish movement? Moorish movement? How come it's not? Okay, let's just... Now, when they say patriot, militia, sovereign, you know that they're talking about the European anti-democracy. They want the republic back ones. Constitutional right to bear arms and all that stuff. They you know, they have their splinters that are doing BS to make that look like it's some militia or whatever, when all they want is the republic back.
Right.
You're tired of democracy too. Just bring back the republic, state sovereignty. We already got constitutions and all that stuff, and then what's the problem? Well, then all the corps have to go home. And Joali said these Europeans have to look death in the face before they go home.
Yep. They publicized that on TV.
So remember, knowing that Noble Drew Ali is the first indigenous African American Islamic organization, association.
Yeah, that's killing. Who is it from again? Where is she?
Oh, hold on. A Sudanese missionary to the United States, Sati Majid, Sheikh al-Islam in North America, and his encounter with Noble Drew Ali, prophet of the Moorish Science Temple movement, Ahmed I. Abu Shuk, J. O. Hunwick, and R. S. Ofahi. First,
okay, so they know.
Indigenous African American Islamic Organization Association. Noble Drew Ali stuff. This was the threat. The threat was what Noble Drew Ali brought. That was the threat. So much of a threat that they have to include him in their campaign against the true and de jure naturalized Europeans who are taking it back to the Constitution, which means they're taking it back to the treaty, which means they're taking it back to the Moors and the Christians humbling themselves due to the rise of the Moors, the return of the ancient ones, all the things in the prophecies that they have, that they know in their Masonic whatever that time is right now. And anything has to be done to stop the rise in activity of the Moorish movement, like they said in here, that they're disguising as sovereign citizen movement to make you think that the Moorish stuff is messed up. When Moorish sovereignty isn't sovereign citizen sovereignty. Moorish sovereignty is because, oh, you seem to have forgot. Let's remind you.
Was adopted as it was the color that symbolized the royal Alawite dynasty, claiming to be descended from the Islamic prophet Muhammad. It is also the color that many sharifs, or leaders of Mecca, and imams of Yemen used, and some may even say it stands for valor, bravery, and strength. In the middle, of course, lies the interlaced green pentacle star, being green, a traditional color of Islam, with 5 points standing for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, as well as the 5 pillars of Islam.
Okay? So the Moorish movement is not just some movement, association, organization, religious, Islamic, whatever. This is tied to a flag that's 50,000 years old. How the hell else would he be able to say that the 5 points mean love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice? Because the Kingdom of Morocco people, they say the 5 points mean the 5 pillars of Islam. They don't say love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Where did he get that from? Nobody other than Noble Drew Ali has said the 5 points on the star is love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. In that order. With the and everything. This is what's known. That it's all the jurisdiction of the Moors. That's why they told you that Noble Drew Ali is the first indigenous Islamic thing. The other stuff that was here, it was Islamic. When Europeans came here, it was Islamic going on over here. I mean, you said the flag's 50,000 years. Why wouldn't there be Moors here before Noble Drew Ali? What are you talking about? I mean, Moorish Americans came from Noble Drew Ali when Moorish Americans been around.
Islam, Gracie.
Islam more.
You gotta say that line one more time, because I think it just hit me again. So say it again. Say that it just hit me a little bit different this time.
That Moorish
indigenous. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, that Noble Drew Ali is the first indigenous Islamic association or organization.
Okay, right? My thing, just that line right there, is if we're talking about the first indigenous Islamic, right? If we do ancient principles of Islam, you know what I mean? If we look at it ancient, how it was first set up. They say Noble Drew Ali is the first indigenous. So in ancient history, ancient Islam, how was it set up? You know, like, that's just the question. Like, how was it set up with the sultans and the sharifians and stuff like that? If you're the first in ancient time, because we had sultans and stuff, sharifians in ancient history, you know, and I'm like, okay, well, only way they could have done that is it had to be set up from something first. With them calling him the first indigenous Islamic, you know, organization here, what does that make his title in Islamic tradition? Like, that's my question now. Like, what would that make him in ancient Islamic tradition? If the Sudanese is calling him the first, what would his title be then? If he's the one? Because when we read about the Moorish Empire or Islamic Empire and stuff, they had sharifians and emperors and stuff like that. That would be like, you were it. You were, you know, through consanguinity, you became the one. Because through first, you know, your mother or whatever, they saying Noble Drew Ali was the first. Does that make it, them calling him the first indigenous Islamic organization, association, does that make him the Sultan? But the way they worded that, by calling him the indigenous Islamic, you're the original. They called you the original one. You're the original. It starts with you. So you're the guy.
Yeah.
So what's your title? Then what are they calling him? What are the Sudanese people calling him now? Since he's the first indigenous guy, he's the first. So what's his title? In Islamic tradition, what are they really saying in that? Like, when you said that again, I'm like, wait a minute. The first indigenous Islamic. Well, if we follow in our forefathers and foremothers, his title would be immaculate then. If he's the first, he's the guy. If we follow in our traditions.
Yeah.
Like, what else are they meaning by that? Like, that's settled with me.
It could also be when they were talking about the Sharifans, it could be Sharif too, because he was Sharif Abdul Ali too.
Yeah.
So
he's the man.
So if he's all the titles, yeah, if he's all, yeah, you can't authenticate that for real. So back to
Look, can I add on real quick?
Yeah, man, go ahead, man.
You know, this with because that Sharif. If you get the book from Llewellyn J. Hall, Morocco and the United States, 1776 to 1956. That's the name of the book. She explains that before there was emperors and all of that, they were called Sharifans. So like when you said that just now, like that's, they call them the Sharif, you know. Yeah. So it's like, wow. Like, as soon as you say, I'm like, well, before there was even an emperor, they were called Sharifans. According to Brother J. Hall, Morocco and the United States, 1776 to 1956. She goes in that book.
Yeah. Just had a thought about the Morocco room.
The Morocco what?
The Morocco room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going down. It's going down.
Yeah. So Brian Slater, you know, he wrote his stuff. So this is what they know. And keep in mind, they're using the SPLC or he's using the SPLC's definition of the Moorish movement. Right? Remember, he's talking about the parallel but different ideology employing the same tactics is the Moorish movement. The SPLC defines the Moorish movement as increasing numbers of Black Americans have melded the sovereign citizen movement with selective interpretations of the teachings of Noble Drew Ali, who founded the exclusively Black Moorish Science Temple of America, MSTA, almost 100 years ago. Noble Drew Ali taught that Black quote-unquote Moors were America's original inhabitants and are therefore entitled to self-governing nation-within-nation status. Today, Black nationalists who see themselves as Moors believe they have key rights that predate by eons the present government. Central to their thesis is a rejection of the 14th Amendment, claiming it merely created a set of artificial persons. Black, Negro, colored, and African Americans are not living people. These tags are politically and lawfully brands put upon the Aboriginal indigenous Moors of Morocco. They refer instead to actual treaties made between the United States and Morocco in the late 18th century, which described a category of free Moor who could not be enslaved or subjugated to U.S. law, even as other Africans were being packed into ships and sent to the New World as chattel. Now, one of the Moors sent something that we just want to put on the record. I want to put this out there. Put this out here. Once again, so SPLC. Founded in the 70s. Johnny come latelys. Type public interest law firm, civil rights advocacy. Civil rights advocacy. You know, Moore's study, so the Moore sent the reference. There it is for you. A History of American Law by Lawrence M. Friedman. The History of American Law. In 1883, the court declared the Civil Rights Act of 1875 a public accommodations law unconstitutional. 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 So if it's unconstitutional, if the Civil Rights Act is unconstitutional, then anybody repping for some civil rights is unconstitutional. The organization, association, group, individual, etc. that's speaking for civil rights are themselves acting unconstitutionally. And they're taking that as an open position. Because it's 2019, they're still talking about some unconstitutional rights. like those exist. Those don't exist. That's not a reality. It's not more.
It's not. So if we dig deep, civil rights is a Spanish Inquisitional practice. It was if you look up what they say, if you want to find something, follow the money. Rothschild sponsored civil rights. When they do the whole Jewish, when they say the Jews, quote unquote the Jews, paid for civil rights, it was Rothschild, the Rothschild family sponsored and paid for the organization of civil rights. They did it. They created and put all that together.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's an act. It's not law. Anybody can do any of that crap. You got some notes and you got some sellout leader guys to promote it. You can get people to start saying anything and marching and saying they believe in anything. We do it now, still today. That's all. That was a civil rights. Because I had to look that thing up. I'm like, there's something wrong with this thing. The Spanish Inquisitional practice.
Yep, Spanish Inquisition all day on unconscious Moors. It only makes sense.
The Spanish Inquisition. Morisco's still trying to help the Christians take over the Moors. Same thing, man. I read it all day. When I study, and I'm like, oh, it's the same stuff happening. People, Morisco's selling out, but it's just in the guise of, they call themselves whatever today. African American, Black, Hebrew, whatever. They weren't called that, but back then, but they were selling out the same way.
Yep. They were still selling out. They were still selling
out the same way.
Literature regarding the Moorish movement is even harder to find than that of the traditionally white sovereign citizen movement. Though the Moorish Science Temple of America claims over 100 years of activity, the anti-government targeting activity has only spiked in recent decades. So recently, there's been this activity of individuals coming into the Moorish movement, reading something 2 times and going out there and trying stuff, put it on camera, upload it to YouTube, and looking like a jackass, getting their stuff stolen and getting beat up and whatever else happens. That people now have their little YouTube market, whatever, where they be getting $100 donations and $200 donations. I'll be sitting in their chat watching, and they be getting hit off. Talk some BS on quote unquote sovereignty. But like we said, if we hit some of these people, we'll see that they are corporate ward. They are corporate ward.
But don't let them fool you, Grand Sheik. That be them paying them on YouTube.
Yeah.
Nobody donating.
Yeah.
That's the trick. They make it seem like they're getting donations so everybody else can jump in and follow shit. Like, oh, they giving donations, let me give a donation. No, that's him paying him. There ain't nobody giving him no 100 notes that donation. That's him paying him. Hoping that you'll give 2 notes, 5 notes. That's what they're looking for. Don't fall for this. I did all the research. Did it all. These people doing whatever it takes to get notes off of YouTube. whatever it takes, buying views, getting commercials. How you? Oh my goodness, that was a beautiful video you put up earlier. You've been killing them, Banshee. Killing them with the videos. How is Taharka got 30 commercials on his channel but you're talking about birth rate, but you got commercials. Like this ain't the Super Bowl. What did you doing? What did you doing, man? What did you doing? What did you doing? This birth rate. And you got 30 commercials. They just doing whatever it is. It's just that Christmas.
Oh, this is a good one right here. True success, which accounts for only 5 cases, meant that sovereign either initiated an action against another party, such as justice official, and either won the case, succeeded in blocking a judge's motion to dismiss, or otherwise walked away the victor. So as much as they're trying to tie stuff to sovereign, whatever, and all of this BS, they know that there's a window, there might be a crack, that some people could get through to get out of their BS that these people are trying, which lets you know that obviously something's up. If they said 100 people tried and 0 people got through, then I could see that as saying, okay, maybe it's not worth even trying. But if they're saying 5%, of quote-unquote sovereign citizen cases are a success, while 93% are a loss. I'm riding with the 5% because I know something's up. I might not be able to put my finger on it, but with study, I'm pretty sure that I will. This is eventually going to all start making sense. As an example, Walter L. Alcamet Shakur L. Bay, Moorish sovereign citizen, succeeded in Alabama during a 2014 case seeking monetary relief against a judge. Previously known as Walter Earl Tops, L. Bay follows the ideology of the Moorish Science Temple, which is a Muslim-centered Black Islamic sect and adherents of the sovereign citizen movement. L. Bay attempted to legally change his name from Tops to L. Bay, but was prevented from doing so by a Macon County probate judge due to religious discriminatory actions. L. Bay filed a lawsuit against the county judge for the alleged incident, and the judge countered with a motion to dismiss the case, calling it moot, as L. Bay never actually filed the name change. The facts and procedural history provided by the USDC of Alabama deduced the situation. When L. Bay presented his petition to legally change his name, a Macon County probate judge spoke to L. Bay regarding his situation, regarding his reason for requesting the name change as part of the judge's usual practice of reviewing petitions for a name change. L. Bay alleges that during this discussion, the judge questioned him about his religion, made remarks about Christianity, told L. Bay he needed to take the petition to a pastor, threw the petition and other documents at L. Bay, and instructed the clerk not to file the petition. The judge stated that as a result of this discussion, Elbe reacted with hostility toward me and began shouting at me that I was violating his constitutional rights. Although the judge does not identify any quote-unquote aggressive or quote-unquote irrational behavior other than shouting, the judge states that after attempting to speak with Elbe to calm him down, he became concerned for his safety and the safety of his staff due to Elbe's aggressive and irrational behavior, and he called courthouse security to escort Elbe from the courthouse. Elbe contends that he was arrested by local police after leaving the courthouse, and during the arrest, he was told to put his hands behind his back like you pray. You know how to pray? In this case, USDC of Alabama reviewed the accused county judge's motion to dismiss without succumbing to Elbe's sovereign rhetorical defense. Instead of becoming blinded by the righteous arguments of Elbe's Moorish entitlements, the USDC reviewed the case's actual circumstances, recognized that the county judge and court officers had denied Elbe's request, and further, that they had engaged in discriminatory acts. The county judge's motion to dismiss was denied, and the case was set for a future trial, to which the outcome has yet to be determined. Though the case was won by a sovereign, it was not won due to sovereign defense schemes. Regardless, Elbe can chalk 1 point for the movement. Always want to make sure they tie the Moors to this sovereign citizen, whatever. Even when they get wins, because they stood up for their right. Remember, all this stuff was about name change. Everybody keep calling him Elbe. And then they're starting to talk about all this other stuff. And then people caught up in all this other stuff and not realize that they stopped calling him by the straw. They were calling him Elbe after all that. That was the whole point. Exercise his sovereignty.
Yeah, I'm not laughing at you more, but I'm just hoping he picked up on that. You know, like, you know, they was calling you Elbe the whole time.
The whole time.
Yeah, he's telling you no, Mr. Day. Like,
Yeah.
No, Mr. Day, you can't change your title, Mr. Day. And you're, that ain't gonna happen like that.
Mad.
They give you the window, like you said, it might be a crack.
Might be a crack.
But if you didn't see that,
you better turn into a mouse.
The door open for you.
You better turn into a mouse and squeeze under that crack right there.
Right.
You better take that crack. Not that crack, the crack in the window. There's a Kudjo told me to smoke the crack, and then I'm gonna be a Moor.
It's not real shit.
Yeah, boy.
I want to add on real quick.
Yeah, Mark, go ahead.
Because it's not like there's a foundation from this. You know what I mean? Like where it stemmed from, where all of this was coming from. Like the propaganda against the Moors, the inquisitional practices against the Moors. It's not like this stuff just happened. You know, like they think, you know, once we think slavery, we think it just started right around over there. No. Like, and that's a fraud too. Like, we're gonna go back to that. Like the foundation, okay. Real quick. In Llewellyn J. Hall. From Llewellyn J. Hall, Morocco, in the United States, 1776 to 1956. Okay, right? Now, because this the more, this, like, the foundation, this is how it starts, right here, okay? It says reports of atrocities this are going in. Reports of atrocities suffered by Christian slaves in Morocco aroused great sympathy for them in Europe. And in 1199, the Order of the Holy Trinity in Redemption of Captives, that was the name of the order. They had a group in the year 1199. Order of the Holy Trinity in Redemption of Captives was founded in Paris. Its members, known as Matulans, devoted their lives. These people, like, devoted their lives, like, you know how nowadays we devote our lives to something crucial, like, oh, we spent our whole entire lives trying to figure this. All right. These people, they devoted their lives to ransoming captives and ameliorating their condition while in prison to the Moors. Like, this the foundation. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not like, oh, we going through this problems now because no. We was doing European so bad, these people had to make orders in 1190. It's the year 1199, right? It said, however, right, in August 1778. Okay, I just said 1199. We talking 1778. That's almost 600 years. That's 600 years. Mm-hmm. They say we was in slavery for 400. Okay, and we're not gonna go over that. But now this 1768. It says 1778 in August. The American commissioners to France, Benjamin Franklin, John Adams, and Arthur Lee, requested the aid of France for American vessels held in Italian ports for the fear of Moors. In 1778, they still was calling for help. This Benjamin Franklin, Arthur Lee, John Adams, they was in so-called Italy with merchants trying to do some trade. They called France because they needed help. The Moors might be coming. Mm-hmm. This is the foundation. I'm just trying to let them know, like, don't just think, like, the stuff we going through, we suffering through slavery now. Now is slavery. We was 1778 was last week. Mm-hmm. They say our slavery started in 1619, Jamestown, Virginia. They talk about Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin was called France for help because the Moors was coming while they were doing trade. How are you enslaving the people and still calling for help against the people you enslaving? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How you did that? The slavery is now. Well, the problems we go through now trying to do stuff. That's the true slavery is right now what we're going through. 1778. That's the year 1800. We round that up the year 1800. 80 years, and like the Grand Sheik said earlier, it was something with slavery. And my whole thing, I'm like, yo, how could any of that exist? But I just told you 600 years. Yeah. 1199, these people created an order. You can look up that order. It got more history. The name of the order is the Order of the Holy Trinity in Redemption of Captives. It was founded in Paris. Look it up. And then when you look it up, the leader of that dude, the dude who started it in Paris, he's going to tell you that he didn't start it. They was doing that for 1,000 years before that. Look it up. He He gonna tell you, the dude who started in 1199, he gonna tell you, when you look him up, they was already doing that for 1,000 years before that. And we talk about some 400 years of slavery. I just told you 1,600 years. 1,600 years. Yeah, they mad. Yeah, they mad. Yeah, they mad. Yeah, they mad. Yeah, license and registration. Yeah. Yeah, they mad. Yeah, they mad.
That'll definitely get some people mad, make you give up Texas and all that stuff.
Yeah, they mad.
Yeah.
That's what you did. So don't just feel like, oh, this is no. 1,600 years. You know, and that's just what we just went over real quick, 10, 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You do some deeper research, you've been enslaving Europeans forever. It's the law. Ipso jurors, Moorish subjects. Ipso juror means it's the law. The law. It's the law that they're Moorish subjects. That's how, yeah, I'll be mad. License and registration. What else I'm gonna do? What else? I ain't got nothing. You know what I did? You took everything from us. Yeah, like I'll be mad too. And they mad right now.
Yeah, they're mad.
I just wanted to see the foundation because we make it seem like, oh, why they don't tell us? What you mean? 1,600 years. Redemption of captives? These people dedicated their lives to that.
Mm-hmm.
Moors was ransoming and kidnapping. We was getting tribute forever from people from different so-called countries or whatever, paying the Moors forever, and we was enslaved. How? On paper. They did it on paper. And through the you want to change your people? Change their literature.
Mm-hmm. Shit.
The prophet just took it and brought it back in a good way. The Europeans did destruction with that. You want to change the people? Change their literature. And I brought up something earlier too, with the fact that, like, okay, they always bring up, like, oh, the black Africans make it, like, they're saying that they're Moors now. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Like, somebody needs to do something like, explain, like, how these Christians became, Europeans, how they even became Christians, how they became, so-called white people by the Wickery Party and stuff like that. Like, there should be news articles out there about that. Promote saying that. Why ain't nobody saying that? Mm-hmm. Which is the truth.
Yeah.
But they promote the schisms, black people who saying that they're more. That's the truth. Why aren't you saying how Europeans who are calling themselves white now is a false? Like, nobody never explained that. Go in on that. Mm-hmm. How, nobody's explaining why aren't people going crazy over the fact that this man keeps saying, let's make America great again, or how Europeans keep saying us Americans. But, like, where's those people making those articles about that? Why they don't say that? Because they part of the Spanish Inquisitional practices. They part of it. Using the news, like I said earlier, but the prophet told them, in order to change the people, change their literature. Then in Days Johnson, when they got that newspaper and stuff, and they started going crazy, controlling what the people can read, being able to, change the people, change their literature. Whatever is in there, that's what the people were going to think.
Yeah.
Just like they do with social media now. These people are walking social medias. I'm like, yo, you look like a screenshot. Like, you don't even look real. Like, look what you got on. You don't even look like, you don't wear that for real. You did that for a picture. Like, these people walking around looking like virtual world, you don't really wear that. That's for screenshots and pictures, social media. These people are walking around in virtual world still. They walk with their cameras right in their face all day.
All day.
When she got told you I was at the track, the girl was on her phone walking around the track. She kept walking and hit the gate. Came off the track, looking at her phone, got off the track and hit the gate. Wow. I said, look at that. Look at that. Look at this. Look at this. You're supposed to be working out. You in your phone working out.
Oh my God.
Hit the gate. Oh, yo,
She was running? She was running?
You said what?
She was running or she was just walking?
No, she was power walking. She was they only come out there to take a picture the day I was on the track. And then they leave. They don't come out there. Ain't nobody doing 5 miles with me. They're not working out. They coming out there to go around and take pictures and then leave to say they was at the track. I watch them do it all day. They live in that virtual world. It's not even real no more. Nothing's real no more. Nothing's real. You put that, remember that virtual video you put up with the guy changing his gender right on Snapchat? Like, it's going.
Yeah.
All this virtual stuff is going insane right now. None of it's real. It's not real. And they're walking around like that. They trying to bring it to real life.
Yo, they brought it to real life, yo. The virtual is real life. The virtual is real life right now. The virtual is real life right now.
Oh yeah. People making a living off the virtue. That's why you know it's real life. They make a living. They make a living. That's why you know it's real. They making a living off of the virtue.
Now we were talking earlier again about the Sudanese. Right, this is Moorish Paradigm, Book 7, Moorish Empire. I will cover the detailed history of Morocco and the early Moorish Empire in detail in subsequent issues. For now, I would like to fast forward to the Moorish emperor by the name of Mulay Ishmael, in order to show that the Moorish Empire at the time of the Moroccan treaties was run by Mande Sudanese, and thus has a direct bearing on us, the Mande Sudanese descendants of the Moorish Empire. First, let me mention that in 1582, the ruler of the Western Sudan was invited to recognize the supremacy of Morocco. The ruler of the Western Sudan Kingdom of Shanghai was Ishak, I-S-H-A-K. When his dynasty was established in the 13th century, it initially recognized the authority of the Abbasid Caliphate of Egypt. But Egypt was far off, and the Abbasid Caliphate had been wiped out. Thus, Timbuktu was captured by Morocco. But Morocco did not take Kaghu across the Niger River. Morocco did, however, receive submissions all the way to Kano, Nigeria, and the whole of the eastern Sudan became part of the Moorish Empire. Included in this empire, the Moorish Empire, was also North, South, and Central America, including the Caribbean. In 16, what was the date that you had just said? 16 what?
Say that again?
What was the date that you had just made reference to?
1778.
1778. So in 1668, Sultan Rashid II, or Mulay Ishmael, who the English called the Great Tafilata, of the present dynasty ruling in Morocco, known as the Filali or Hilali, Sharifs nobles. The Filali Sharifs were already established in Fez for over 20 years prior. From 1668 marks the mastery of the Filali Sharifs over the Moorish Empire. The Filalis were held in great veneration by the people of Morocco. Their family was even offered the throne of Granada at one time. During Sultan Rashid II's rule, he consolidated the Moorish Empire. The history of this remarkable man and his long reign of 55 years calls for special treatment, not only on account of the exceptional wealth of material, but particularly on account of the foreign relations producing that wealth. During this period, as never before or since, we are brought face to face with the internal workings of the Moorish court. Budget Mekin, The Moorish Empire, 139, page 139. In 1672, Sultan Rashid II was succeeded by Mulay Ishmael, who was his brother. Mulay Ishmael is known to native Moroccans as the Prince of the Faithful, the Overcoming in Allah, Father of the Conqueror, my Lord Mulay Ishmael, son of the noble Sharif. In his correspondence with... Yeah, more, go ahead.
I just want to add on real quick with the Mulay Ishmael, Llewellyn J. Hall, page 38. He was also known as the quote-unquote Black Sultan, not on account of his deeds, but because of his skin. Although a Sharif, he had a Negro slave for a mother. So just in case they think pale Arab,
yeah,
we're not talking pale Arab.
We're not talking pale Arab. And if she was a Negro slave, that means she was American.
Right.
There ain't no thing as no Negro slave over there.
Right.
What's a Negro slave doing over there? Unless slavery went that way.
Right. You would be free at home. Right. You know what I mean? Like, if we think of it, right. You can't be a Negro slave and you're not captured yet. You only can be a slave once you got here. Now you're a Negro slave. If you're still quote unquote in Africa, you just plain old Negro. You didn't get captured yet. You can't be a slave. That's crazy. She has to be an American. That's the crazy, man. I mean, I knew that, but I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You only get those ones when you study. You only get those ones when you study. I thought I knew that, but I really didn't know that. You only get those ones when you study. You know. In his correspondence with King Louis XIV, he styled himself Conqueror of 11 Kingdoms. Colonel Scott wrote of this sovereign in 1842, deriving his information from native sources, that he quote-unquote appears to have been the most enlightened of the Moorish kings or emperors, as all the public works I have seen are stated to have been built in his time. You know, Moorish. The Diwan, the famous samurais of the Moorish Empire. To secure this peace and calm, he formed an all quote-unquote black military caste consisting of the Sudan Mande, similar to the samurai class of Japan, because from time immemorial, the Sudan Mande were known as the best and bravest soldiers, warriors. This military caste was known as the Divan, Divan, Deewan, Bokhari, Bokhari, Udaya, Udaia, and other names. They took orders from no one but their own leaders, known as Kaid, 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 or the emperor directly. Right? And lastly, the Negroes, who since the late Mulay Ishmael's obtaining the government of his country have made the greatest figure in it. They're fixed different sorts of people made up of the subjects of the Emperor of Morocco, and among them there are various sorts of complexions, from very fair to very black. The reason why the Moors in the southern United States were brainwashed out of our Moorish nationality and into believing that we were all descendants of slaves purchased in Africa was in order for the southern European plantation owners to 1. Get around the Moroccan treaties with America and England, which would not allow them to enslave Moors. 2. To take our land in the south. 3. Kidnap and enslave free Moors in the slave states under the Fugitive Slave Law Acts. 4. To take us from under the treaties signed by America, which said that the original inhabitants of the land shall be admitted into the Union as soon as possible, and in the meantime, they were to be protected in their right to property, persons, and the way of life. Louisiana Purchase Treaty with Spain for Florida, 1819. Treaty for Mexico, which will be in the next issue. Because our Moorish ancestors assisted America in their bid for independence, and we were the first to recognize her independence, America is obligated to assist us in our bid for independence and self-determination in this day and time. We cannot continue on as we are. We must go for ourselves and be responsible for ourselves, the same as any other people. By being dependent on America, we do ourselves a disservice and create an unwanted burden on the rest of America. And once again, 1986, all the people talking BS about the connections Moors have to Morocco and why we can wave this flag, because it is specifically for the Negro, black, colored, African, whoever, whatever they call themselves, that claim to have been lost, their history and all that stuff. It's for them. For you to finally have a history, to be able to research and find out how important it was for this man to present to us the truth about our Moorish nation's sovereignty. Because he told us about our flag. And only sovereign nations have those. Everybody else has banners. Speech of His Excellency Mati Jorio, Ambassador of Morocco, at the Moorish Centennial Celebration honoring Noble Drew Ali, January 11th, 1986, the Howard Inn, Washington, D.C. It is a privilege for me and for other staff members of the Embassy of Morocco to attend this, the Noble Drew Ali Centennial Tribute Dinner. Now, why would they go, these Moroccans from over there? People want to go on certain Gary's TV, and people want to go on certain other blog talk shows and talk about Moroccans said that they don't recognize the Moors and all this type of BS. If they don't recognize the Moors, why would they go to a Noble Drew Ali event? Let's see. Now these people are supposed to be, this is the ambassador for the Kingdom of Morocco. The ambassador, His Excellency.
So the king knows he's here.
And they're going to the Noble Drew Ali Centennial Tribute Dinner? Why are they going? Oh, could it be because Noble Drew Ali is the first indigenous African American Islamic organization could it be? Maybe they know some stuff. Maybe they know some stuff. Just maybe. Maybe. Please let me take this opportunity to express to you our collective appreciation for your kind invitation and my personal appreciation for having been chosen to receive the Ambassador of the Faith Award. I am greatly honored. It is also a pleasure for us to be in the company with such distinguished guests as those here tonight and to be taking part in such a joyous celebration. We are happy to bring you all greetings from His Majesty King Hassan II and the people of Morocco. By now, I have been made well aware of your devotion to strengthening the ties linking the Moorish American community to Morocco. Morocco, for its part, welcomes your interest and your work for a better understanding between us. I would like to know that your efforts have not gone unnoticed. Your initiative is to be both respected and encouraged. As to us, we in turn have every intention of doing all possible to make our relationship a vibrant and a special one. But for this goal to be met, we must also look to the future. We cannot limit ourselves to considering just the historical aspects of our relationship, thereby believing that good relations between us are a matter of fate. Rather, we should understand our cooperation and be a living entity, able to grow and open the future. It is here that we can begin to recognize the importance of our children's role. Whatever advantages we make, it is our children who will have the follow-through. We are pleased and proud to have the Moorish community as one of the bridges between Morocco and the United States as a new voice in the network of our long-standing relationship. Thank you. Courtesy of the Embassy of the Kingdom of Morocco. You want more than that? You're on your own. On your own.
The ambassador to Morocco didn't say we were sovereign citizens.
Not one time. Not once did he say we're sovereign citizens. Not once.
None of that. It's your own.
It's your own. It's always your own. Selling you out. Selling you out. Making sure that they sell you out.
That's what I'm going to see. Real quick, just to add on, because you were saying earlier about the Negro slave, which makes her American. And it's another thing in the book, Rock on the United States, 1776, 1956, another J. Hall, on page 44, right? Listen to this. Now, I think 13 colonies, you know, because that's all it was. That's all it still is. Very great, it says, very great benefits were bestowed upon the British colonies in America by the peace purchased by England from the Moorish powers. Period. Read it again?
Yeah, read that again.
Yeah. Very great benefits were bestowed upon the British colonies in America by peace purchased by England from the Moorish powers. Why is that? Morocco over there. Why is the 13 colonies receiving great benefits because of the peace England paid for to the Moorish powers? Why is that? If Morocco's over there, why are they getting benefits over here? Like that, but like whenever I said, wait a minute, that don't make sense. Why would England buy peace from Morocco over there so the 13 colonies can have peace over here? Why would they do that? That don't make sense. Why would they do that? Morocco all the way over there. The Moors is all the way over there. Why they need to buy peace here?
Yep.
Why they need to get great benefits here? This ain't Morocco. So or is it?
Or is it?
Right. It started explaining the trade, right? That the so-called colonies that they were getting. Right? It says from these regions, the colonies imported goods officially valued in 1769 at I don't know. It says 682 tons, but that was in 1769, consisting mostly of out of here, right? This is what they importing out of here. Listen, wines, salt, oil, and Moroccan leather. I said, wait a minute. How you getting Moroccan leather here? This ain't how.
Yeah, this is not Morocco.
This ain't Morocco. Why is it called Moroccan leather? Why are they telling you this Moroccan leather here? There you go. You can go sell and trade that or whatever. Why? Like when shouldn't it be some Indian name? Talk create that name for the leather. Like, should they speak something language like that for leather? Why is it called Moroccan? Why are you calling it that? Y'all in so-called Indians, y'all not even supposed to know that word. Moroccan. Y'all canoes. Y'all canoes and stuff. Y'all don't go nowhere. Y'all stay right here. Nobody's traveling nothing. You never heard of a Moor. Moors never heard of the Indians or whatever. Or none of that. Nobody traveled but Europeans. The Europeans had to get look. They don't even explain this. Look, as one means of coercion, Great Britain withdrew passes from the colonists when they were voted 2 weeks after the Declaration of Independence. Nobody never told me that.
Revoke their passes.
Why didn't nobody never tell me that? Who voted the passes? What passes? Why Great Britain gave you passes to the who y'all? Oh, that's right. Y'all just paid for peace to the Moors. So whatever permission you got was from the Moors.
Mm-hmm.
When they took them passes, because that's Great Britain, basically the 13 colonies, they got permission from the Moors to set up that business. Cause that's why I said they were great benefits was bestowed upon the British colonies in America by the peace purchased by England from the Moorish power. That's here. That's why they was paying for it. That's why they ended up paying for the peace with the Moors here.
Yeah.
They got so much, and then they make it seem, and then, look, again, it says, 2 weeks after the Declaration of Independence, a committee of the Continental Congress, nobody never told me about no Continental Congress neither, reported to that body a plan to combat the menace to American commerce from the discovery that the vessels from across the Atlantic were no longer protected. Look at that. Because that's the whole peace treaty.
Yeah.
Once the whole once they don't even. I was like, okay, I've never even heard of that. Like they just talk about 4th of July, Independence Day. They didn't say Great Britain revolted your passes, and once they did that, the Moors was back on your ass again. They didn't say that. They didn't say that.
Yeah, they're gonna leave
they
that
didn't
out.
say that. They didn't say that. Like, okay, and then I'm like, okay, that's how y'all got to be able to set up around our shores and stuff like that. We were doing business with King George III, our cousin, or more.
Mm-hmm.
These are his 13 colonies, his businesses. These are his businesses right here. These European. Look, what did it say? Christian slavery was a lucrative business. It was booming. The 13 colonies. That's the transatlantic slave trade right there. That's the transatlantic slave trade. All them Europeans with that right there, 13 colonies. That's the transatlantic. That's the business. They was the cargo. The Europeans. That's when they started getting their independence. Right in that Thomas Paine. Right in making it seem like they were human beings now. Every man is created equal. Now they want to be human.
Yeah.
I mean, they want to be part of law. They want to get part into law.
Yeah.
With that and that's why what Obama said, we were the first people to recognize them as a nation. They wasn't even. They were just Christians.
They weren't even a nation.
They were just Christians. So when they say, oh, like what Reggie said, oh, they weren't dealing with nationalities back then. That's a Eurocentric thinking. We were the first to recognize these Christians as a nation. They didn't have nationalities and nothing like that. None of that. They were just Christians.
Yeah.
We got them to get inside the law. Now they get the constitutions and stuff like that. Now they're in the human family. Before, they just came over as corpse. They were in that. That's why they can do the plan now so perfectly. They mastered it. They were in it.
They were it.
They were it. They were the cargo, the human trafficking. They were that first.
Yeah.
They were that first. That was we created human trafficking. It make it seem like these humans are there.
Yeah, that's their jurisdiction or something.
More gotta accept what we did, man. We did a lot of evil things.
Yeah.
The first human trafficking, we was doing it with Europeans. Yes, license and registration. Now, 2019, license and registration. Yep. Yep.
Yep. Islam to all the Moors. Don't forget, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. 319-527-6751. 319-527-6751. 425-569-5201. 425-569-5201. www.blogtalkradio.com/MHHS-Eyes Wide Open. 9:30. Islam to all the Moors out there. Peace and love. Honors to the Prophet Noble Juali. Supreme honors to Allah for sending us a prophet. And Islam to all the active Moors. All the Moors who are competent. All the Moors who know the truth about their nationality and their birthrights and continue to know more and more truth and divine truth. Islam to all Moors. Have any close out, Brother Yusuf?
Islam, bro. See, it posts to your panel. It's give honor to Allah. Praises to the Prophet of Ali. Give thanks to all the Moors in the chat. Oh yeah, and I gotta even get on there. But I've seen some of his work. It's beautiful. You already know, No More Daily. Make sure we gotta get on there. It's still No More Daily.
No more daily merchandise. No more daily merchandise.
Yeah, No More Daily Merchandise.com.
No more daily
For the
merchandise.
Blossom merchandise. That's beautiful. I like the hoodies on there, man. It's great.
Yeah. Islam to all the Moors. Peace and love. Keep studying. You already know. Islam.